There it is.
Are we going to have the jingle today?
We're live at the IMMPact YouTube channel. Look, Greg, we're live on your Twitter feed, my Twitter feed, Aaron's Twitter feed, because I thought Aaron might be here, as well as you have LinkedIn. So we're kind of broadcasting everywhere at once. So it's great to be with everybody. Let's just kind of run through the litigations. I want to start because this one is the DV 2026 is the one that actually got the most attention today or yesterday. So last Friday, rather unexpectedly, Judge Amir Ali decided that our DV 2026 case was somehow not related to Curtis's DV 2026 case. And it may be because we focus very heavily on the 75 country pause as well. I'm not sure if Curtis did. I don't know if Curtis did. Apparently not, according to Judge Ali. So he sent our case along with another one, right? Zach, there was another DV case, not ours. We both ended up, however, I believe, with Judge Leon. Now, we had Judge Leon. Greg, you remember back in 2019, the H-1B visa prevailing wage case.
Oh my God, yes.
That was with Judge Leon, and he struck down that regulation for us. Very nice of him to do that. He is a senior judge. He has been a senior judge for 10 years, and I don't know how old Judge Leon is, but he is a George W. Bush appointee. Not HW, just W. He's appointed in 2021.
He would really be a senior judge if he was HW.
He must have been, I mean, he can't be that old. Bush he can't be that old.
Me.
Probably in the 70s. So, but got a lot of questions today. How does that impact the pending motion for summary judgment? And the answer is, it doesn't. Doesn't. Now, the judge did deny our preliminary injunction as moot because we filed a motion for summary judgment. So as far as we're concerned, the government response to our motion for summary judgment, I believe, is due next week. I think it's May 1, I think. You remember
right.
that? I don't recall the May 1 or May.
That sounds right.
May 8th. I forget which day it's due. It's either next Friday or the Friday after. And then we'll get our reply in right away. Jesse's not here with us tonight. He has some baseball stuff to get taken care of. But we then will hopefully have oral argument with the judge. I suspect that once Judge Leon familiarizes himself with the current agreement, that we might hear from him. But I'm not concerned. I think we'll be just fine. And our current timeline holds. I still believe we will have hopefully a decision by the mid part of June. So that's the DV 2026 case. We're in good shape there. Zach, the 75 country case.
It's kind of going concurrently with the DV stuff because the DV stuff we're challenging the 75 country as well. I mean, this one we've got a motion for summary judgment is kind of the next step here. We've got the first kind of conferral with the government to get the whole briefing schedule out, and then I mean we're off to the races. We have all the records already, so it's not
Are we just waiting to hear back from the government? We waiting to hear back from the government? So that's it, right? The government signed it.
And then we're off to the races. And you know what? We might have the vacatur of the 75 country ban before then with the DV case, or this one might push it over the finish line. So we'll see. All these are in good places. They're all just kind of pushing forward to the same result.
Well, that kind of goes to the 39 country ban case. So we've got the Georgia case with Judge Grimberg.
I'm waiting any day now. Every time I get an email, I'm like, yep, there it is. There's the PI.
I see the court header on the email.
Taking bets between whether that decision comes in before the H-1B one.
Oh, that's I don't know.
All of those were any day now.
Well, our buddy Jim Hacking, he did his a month before ours.
Yeah. Well, that's the lesson of all that is that judges are very unpredictable as far as how long they will take, and we have learned that over the years. Where we remember the DV case that sat in the DC Court of Appeals for how long was that?
Expedited appeal.
Well, you look, yeah. Well, when thinking about this, the H-1B has an expedited appeal too in the D.C. Circuit, and they haven't done anything. And we're of course waiting with bated breath on the DACA case with Judge Hammond, who I think is just not going to rule on the case before the. I mean, I don't know. Who knows for the midterms?
Yeah.
Who the heck knows?
I will say though, because everybody is pretty stressed about this.
And we have the Colorado case. Give us an update on the Colorado.
First, let me quick on the Georgia case. I know everybody is really stressed about this, but the judge was very explicit that he'll get an order out to us as soon as he can. I mean, he said that twice to us in the oral argument. He wanted to get that April 1st guidance. We got the March 30th guidance that said nothing, and then we got that leak from the report that we sent on the 31st. So he got the update that he wanted at that time. My guess is that because on March 30th, the government filed their motion to dismiss, he was like, hey, you know what? I'll take this opportunity to get a little bit more information before I make my decision. So that means that April 13th was when our response was submitted there. Has all the information that he would want now, that he could get now, which is really why it's any day now, any moment now type of thing. We have
the government has not filed a reply to that, have they? I haven't seen
they don't have to, and I think they passed their deadline to file a reply. So
they did. I think on the 20th.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to file a reply. I don't know what they would reply about.
It was a emotion.
But it is any day now type thing for the one from Atlanta. And I know people are stressed, but it really we aren't at this like unreasonable. Wow, when could this possibly come out? Like there's been movement on the case that would suggest that the judge has possibly been waiting for those.
We have updated the judge twice on 2 different orders that have come in favorably to our side. So
3, I think, that we've updated him on. Anyways, we keep giving him updates. We're peppering him, saying, "Hey, don't forget about us." So we don't have to worry about that. We are going to get a decision really any day now. I've got an email that's unread right now. I'm positive it's the PI. So, anyways, on the Colorado case. Oh, sorry. Colorado case. We have got the PI filed. There's a lot of just local rules that you've got to jump around to get things done in Colorado. It's just a fun time.
Yeah,
one of them is that
service is a little crazy there, isn't it?
It's absurd. So I think everybody saw the only caption that really was there saying that the summons were not issued because the caption was incomplete. That's because they wanted 9 pages of plaintiffs listed on the caption, which is literally impossible. So we were calling the clerk. It was like we were getting supervisors on the phone. It was just a terrific time getting that case moving. And then to file a PI, you have to confer with the opposing counsel and see if that there's any way for them to narrow the issues or resolve the case before filing it, which obviously that's not happening here. So anyways, did that. Sent them
that already too. So now it's just the question of getting it filed, right? So
no, it's filed now. I forgot that was filed last night, so we're all set. I sent my conferral to the government attorney. He said, "Hey, I know that there's no real way that this is getting resolved. Just so you know, I'm going to file this." I
need to get my pro FHA for there as well. So if you
it's a fun time. So that's filed anyways. Next step is just kind of like literal procedural things are going to be on the docket moving forward. Hey, service is returned, and magistrate consent form is submitted. And after we submit that, then we'll get reassigned to a district judge. That doesn't slow things down by us going from magistrate to a district judge. Briefing has to be completed on everything there. Again,
that's interesting. Different districts are different because some will automatically assign to a magistrate. Not the Northern District of Georgia. They never assign to a magistrate.
So here's your district court judge.
Right to district court judge. So, and of course, we are onboarding for the 3rd round of the 39 country ban. There was a report last week that somebody got interviewed from a 3rd country, but I haven't seen an adjudication on this, and we know that they're just not adjudicating these cases. I mean, Joe Edlow came out on Monday. All you got to do is come out and listen to Joe Edlow, the head of USCIS. So he did a one-on-one with the Nativist Know Nothing group FAIR, and basically said, just bragging, yeah, we're not working on anything. Yeah, we're just going to investigate old cases. But we're assigned all our people to all these old cases. We're not really doing anything. That's what we're
But
doing.
people are getting scheduled for interviews, and I would not be like freaking out if you get scheduled for an interview. I've had plenty of cases that are just normal plotting along, and we get scheduled for an interview, not in any of the lawsuits. It's not like you file the lawsuit and they're scheduling you an interview to go after you or anything like that. It's just kind of part of the process, and they are just moving forward with it. So I would have a lawyer that you get.
Oh, you should. Should you have a lawyer at your interviews today? 100%.
Absolutely, but don't like freak out that you got an interview notice. That's just happening.
Yeah, so that's good news. Yeah, the problem is the adjudications. That's the problem, the
Yeah,
adjudication.
it's not. You're not going to get a decision.
We hinted at the $100,000 fee case because it's now been a long time since we had an oral argument, and
I mean, it is very long since that March 8th, I think.
I was talking to Stuart Anderson today, and he reminded me that on Wasden's case a couple of years ago on the H-1B thing, the judge took a year. Just a year on PI. So,
well, thankfully, we're not the only game in town on that. There are two other suits, so I don't think all three.
I haven't heard anything about the Attorney General's suit.
Don't they? They are. So they were not doing a preliminary injunction. They were just doing a motion for summary judgment. But
I haven't heard them
briefed out, and I don't know what's where from
anything about that. So kind of I will update you on the F1 visa revocation because a lot of our F1 visa folks that were revoked asked me, and I said, well, we sent an email out. The government filed a motion to dismiss. We have responded. We are now waiting on the judge to make a decision on that motion to dismiss. We can't go forward until that motion to dismiss is hopefully won in our favor, which I think it will be. But we'll find out what the judge says here, hopefully very shortly. Very shortly.
We're waiting on a lot of judges is the theme of today.
There's just a lot of decisions. With our luck, it'll all come down on the same day. So here's a question. Do you think a status conference might be needed? No. You don't ask for a status conference that quickly.
I mean, the reason hacking did that is because it was 10 weeks. It's been 10 weeks, I think, since
a long time, right?
So that makes a little bit more sense to say, hey, what's going on here? It's been a week and 2 days since.
Did you get back? Did they set a status conference? I didn't get any report after that.
He filed requesting a status conference, but I don't think it's been set for one yet. But either way, we're not at the point where that would be necessary.
Yeah. So this is, Georgia is a good place to file this case. So I think we're in good shape. I mean, I think we got a good judge. I think he's fair.
We had a great decision in Georgia earlier. In 2025 on the last time we filed there. So we actually have a pretty good record.
Now I will tell you this. Keep in mind, we generally when you file a lawsuit, this is a 6 to 12 month process or longer. The judge actually took time. He was in trial, and he set aside one of his trial afternoons to hear our oral argument. I mean, so it's not like he's just sitting there going, should I play tennis today or make a decision? These guys and gals are completely overwhelmed with work.
There are a lot of against this administration, and it's not just on immigration.
No, the judges are completely overwhelmed.
One thing, people are all nervous because he's a Republican judge, and they think that's like determinative. No, Republican, Democrat, judges can go either way on these types of issues. And I mean, a couple of the big decisions he's had, one was blocking the Trump 2020 Georgia stole the election thing.
Yeah.
So he was the judge on that, saying, no, I'm not going to let the administration steal the election here in Georgia.
They don't care anymore about the president once they're in office.
They want to be a Supreme Court justice. And
another big immigration case recently is this whole detaining people without really any real legal right to do that. He came out on the side of no, you can't just arrest people.
He's definitely a kind of straight shooter on this stuff.
Yeah, he's a good judge. So
law school and took constitutional law and administrative law and all that just because they were appointed by a Republican judge. Republican.
Yeah. Keep in mind, as we talked earlier, he was an early Trump appointee, like the first month.
Right.
And those guys, they were good. They were good people. They got most of the votes, 95 votes. Not like the clown show you're seeing today.
Well, didn't they have the Democrat? Well, did the Democrats have the Senate at that point?
No, I don't think they did.
Okay. Well, it was probably close. I was.
So how does summary judgment work for the country? Pause. Zach, explain how summary judgment works.
So summary judgment is requires like a couple of preliminary steps. We have to set a briefing schedule because we have to have the administrative record certified and provided to the court. That, if you guys follow Jim Hacking's case, the 39 country ban, they just dumped that on him, on the judge, saying like, here's the entire record, basically. Here's everything that we use to consider things. And we know that included in there is like tweets, and it's
and a memo. That's all there was.
It is required for them to provide the certified record to the judge, and I don't know why my camera is so dark and so high. So, anyways, they first get this preliminary or the certified administrative record provided to the judge. Then our motion for summary judgment gets filed. They have their own motion for summary judgment, so we kind of have this cross motion for summary judgment. We respond, they respond, we reply, they reply. And then if the judge wants a hearing, we have a hearing, or the judge just makes a decision on the papers. And here, the judge very well may just say, I'm just going to make a decision because I have 3 or 4 other cases on this that I've kind of already looked at. Now, I don't need to hear oral argument one more time. I can just make a decision based off of what has been written. So next steps that need to happen is just kind of getting that timeline locked down. And then what does the timeline look like for the judge to issue a judgment? That one is really up to the judge. I mean, I've had summary judgments that have taken like a month. I've had summary judgments that have taken a year. I don't think we're going to take a year, but it will kind of depend on the judge. And it's also going to, I think, these other cases are going to build off of each other. So the DV case where the 75 country bans challenge is going to build off of, I think Clinic has a suit, which is going to build off of Red Eagle Laws. These all kind of build off of each other to get this this momentum to have a faster decision.
Plus, the reason you want a summary judgment is that's the final judgment. Preliminary injunction is good for 28 days. Right?
Yeah, preliminary injunction. It's preliminary. I mean, we want a permanent injunction here.
This is what we did give summary judgment. Where are we filing the DV AOS case? I don't know, because so far we only have like 14 plaintiffs. So that's why we extended the deadline for another week on this, Zach. So I don't know where we're filing it. I don't know. We'll
it also always does depend on where the plaintiffs are located. Like
right, and that's what we need to. That's what we need. We run that when we have all the plaintiffs signed up. So, and John is not here to tell us where everybody is. So. Zach, Vic, thank you for the email. And then the last one, next last one, I mentioned last week, DBAOS case could be filed this week, and we extended the deadline because we didn't have enough people sign up. We need more people.
Yeah,
more people. And then Sandy, would it be possible to email Adam G. Unikowski and ask for an update? Adam G. Unikowski? Did I miss a movie or something? I don't know who that is. There is an update, so there you go. All right, that kind of gets us off the table for this week. We've gone through everything. Just not a lot of updates this week about what's going on. We'll be back next week at 6 o'clock to give you a further update on the cases. And until then, you guys have any parting words?
Hang in there.
Hang in there, guys. It's
be careful out there. Hang in there. The system. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but they grind ever so fine. There you go. See you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.